All right. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Seibert, and I'm the Parent and Family Engagement Coordinator for the IU Office of Student Life. And we're so excited for you to join us this evening for our latest installment of the Hoosier Family Huddle webinar series. Tonight, we're joined by Suzanne Allen, who's the Director of IU Core, and Reagan Lewis, who's the Assistant Director. And they're going to tell us about all the great work they do in IU Core and about volunteerism at IU. So without further ado, I'll hand it off to you two. And how we'll set this up, we'll have about 30 or 45 minutes of presentation and followed by 15 minutes of Q&A by the audience if anyone has any questions. So I'll hand it over to you, Suzanne and Reagan.
Hi, thank you, Kyle. Thank you for asking us to present on what we do in our office, and we're super excited to share that with everyone. Reagan's bringing up the PowerPoint that we have prepared for you all. We're going to start with just some introductions of just Reagan and I. We are the two full-time staff members of our office. I've been working with IU Core for about 6 years. And I was an undergrad here at IU Bloomington many, many years ago. And one of my favorite experiences at IU was volunteering. So this fit really well into my career goals. And I love watching the students thrive in these experiences that they have to get real world experience out in our community and helping our community partners. And I'll hand it off to Reagan for her introduction.
Hi, so good to see you all. I'm Reagan. I'm the assistant director here at IU Core. I'm a little bit new to the office. I am rounding out my first year in office, and it has been really great. I'm a Bloomington native, but I didn't go to IU. So when I stepped into this role, it was really nice to kind of fall back in love with my hometown community by seeing all of the good things and the effort that people are putting to make their community a better place.
Thank you, Reagan. In addition to Reagan and I, we have a group of student interns that make up our team, and they help us do meet our vision and mission every single day. Um, Getting into like the crux of what IU Core is, it was made to be a place where every student would have the opportunity to engage in meaningful service experience during their time here at IU Bloomington. And our mission remains to develop and maintain relationships and resources to foster a campus environment that supports students becoming engaged, productive, and responsible members of society. And what that looks like on the day to day is connecting students to the volunteer opportunities that are available to them and in a reciprocal type of way. So we're always mindful of the community partners around in our community and around the state of Indiana of their needs. And so looking for really clear opportunities from them so we can clearly identify them and communicate them to students is really important to us. Um, so what we're going to do today is go over a little bit of like what IU Core is, who we are here for, and some ways that your student can connect with us, and then where your student can find us. Reagan, can you? Thank you. So here at IU, we have many ways that students can get involved. Lots of students already do volunteering outside of the like our office. They're doing volunteering in their own communities before they come here, and so it's really exciting to see the passions that the students already have and the connections that they've made. We have over 160 campus offices and organizations here on campus, to over 240 student service-based organizations, and more than 200 service learning courses. So there are so many different ways that students can get some experience of volunteering while they're here on campus. Um, some of, Thank you. Some of the ways that we actually at IU Core have for students to get involved are up on the screen. So the first one that we're gonna dig into these each a little later in the presentation, but just to give you a quick overview, GivePulse is our database that we share with students that has think of it as a library of volunteer opportunities that are available to them that they can access through a platform called GivePulse. We're excited about what's coming with that. Our Start volunteerships, Reagan's going to tell us more about that here in a moment, but it's a really great opportunity for students to dig into something that they might have experienced in a class or just in a volunteer way already, and they want to dig into it more and do a skill-based volunteership. Our student group is called Volunteer Corps, and they are really intentional about scheduling volunteer opportunities that students can go out in the community and do together. And then promotion, we give the opportunity for community partners to share their opportunities with students through our social media channels and other ways. Students find, from our experience working in this field, a lot of students have shared their testimonials with us, and they really find that it's being closely involved with the community helps them have a tangible way to practice their career goals before they graduate.
Hi, yeah. So that brings us to START, which stands for Student Agile Response Team, and it is a volunteership, which is just a volunteer internship that we run out of our office. They are 6 to 8 weeks in length, and that varies from project to project, but we run them in the fall and in the spring, 2 semesters, and it's one semester, one project. So there's a whole workflow that walks you through all the steps. But I'm going to talk about one of our, or I guess two of our fall 2024 projects. We worked with Autism Rocks and Rolls, which is a nonprofit based out of Lawrence County that works nationally to increase autism awareness and to promote what autism looks like. We did two projects. We did a website enhancement and an educational module mockup. So the website enhancement, we had a team of 2 students go into the existing website, do an audit of it, talk about what was missing, what needed to be improved, what was outdated, and they took that to our community partner, which the community partner looked at, approved, made changes, and then the team went in and they made the changes to make the website more updated and enhance it. Our other project was also another team of two. Teams can be 1 to 5 students, but both of these just happen to be 2 students each. And they did an educational module mock-up. So Autism Rocks and Rolls is trying to grow their education around autism in the workplace. And our students helped make like a mock-up of the first educational model that they will take to their board members to help promote it and try to get the ball rolling on that. Just to look at the rest of the projects that we've done this academic year, we've had website enhancement, help with HR handbooks, GIS mapping, graphic design, website audits, mock-ups, marketing, software training, grant research, app enhancements, event planning, event coordinating, volunteer coordinating, another grant research, marketing and strategic planning, crisis planning, pretty much anything that a community partner has a need for, we try to make it fit with student needs as well. Our START programs are a partnership between students and community partners. It's not one telling the other what they need, but them coming together to find the best solution. We've had some amazing testimonials from our students who have talked about the experience that they've had. They a lot of times come in for the CVs and the real world experience, and they talk about how great that is. But what really shocks them is how rewarding they find it when they can give back to their community. And then on the other side, our community partners tell us that the START students bring fresh ideas that have lasting impact in their organization, and that our students have always exceeded their expectations, which is such a great thing for IU. And then we also have our student organization called Volunteer Corps. They go out every weekend into the community and do service work. It's a large organization, so they get to meet new people because not everyone's going to go to the same event, but they're very dedicated to volunteerism and strengthening that culture. They'll have events where they will talk about what does it mean to be a good leader through service, how to be a good volunteer, and they really just want to build a culture of service. We have a couple main events besides The weekend service, we do a little day of service in the spring before the weekend before Little Five. So it's an idea that we give back to the community before Little Five.
Thank you, Reagan. So in addition to our START program and also our student organization Volunteer Corps, we offer what we call Volunteer Central, and it's a database that currently houses volunteer opportunities from the community. Typically, on average, there's usually more than 150 volunteer opportunities that we put into the system. And the also in addition to opportunities that might be put in from other places. We have the all of the Bloomington Volunteer Network opportunities as well. We are expecting a new platform come June 1st, so we're super excited. Volunteer Central currently is in Handshake, but we are moving into GivePulse, and so what that will look like for the students is a more user-friendly experience really built for volunteering. So we're super excited about what that's going to look like and how that will help our students track what they're doing so they can communicate it later when they're making those resumes and cover letters to look when they go to apply for jobs. And a little bit about where your students will find us. We are always looking for connection with students outside of our office. So they will find us at First Thursdays events. This upcoming fall, we will be at Culture Fest, Student Involvement Fair, and then the September 1st Thursdays. Those are just three of the ones that we have on the horizon. At our booths, we are doing volunteer opportunities that a student can do at our table with us. And so them having the chance to do a volunteer opportunity super quick at our table gives them the idea of how they can be impactful, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to take a long time. And so our hope is that that would be their first view into volunteering or their continuation of volunteering if they've already done it in the past and had experience. It might spark interest and curiosity into like what else they can venture into in that area. So we are looking forward to a busy fall semester and meeting a lot of your students. And we are accessible to all students. So IU Core is campus-wide office that serves all students, all majors. So the START project that Reagan mentioned are open to all students, no matter what their major or what school they're in.
And then just to touch a little bit more on our events to kind of get you an idea of what a small scale service project would look like. This past First Thursday, which the only one in spring is in April, we made dog toys for the local Humane Society and animal shelter. And through our event at First Thursday, we were able to make 120 dog toys that will go to the dogs in need.
So this is where you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Please take a moment to look us up and give us a like, and we can get those opportunities communicated out to you so you can share them with your students.
All right. So if anyone has questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A function. I think the chat doesn't quite work on the webinars, but the Q&A is where you want to send questions. So while people are thinking about those, I have a couple myself, Suzanne and Reagan. So if you don't mind, I'll work you a little bit and test your IU core knowledge. So do you think are there opportunities for students maybe that are tailored for those that have limited time for this type of volunteering but want to get involved? And then are there opportunities for students that want to have that deeper ongoing involvement or commitment? Can you talk a little bit about how students get involved across the gamut of that available time there?
Yeah, Kyle, that's a great question. Thank you. The there's a huge spectrum of volunteer opportunities that like exist in our community. So there are tons of opportunities for students to go volunteer one time. So a partner might have, like for example, the library I know hosts like a book sale, and they need students to help set up for that book sale. And then there's all kinds of like different types of organizations that have events like that that are really they're fundraising events for the and they just happen once a year, right? So they're looking for students who can fill those time slots to cover whatever's happening at that event. So those we have those that kind of fall in that bucket. Then there's tons of different organizations in Bloomington for them to have those experiences with if they have a limited amount of time. And then there are some of our partners that look for more of a commitment. So they're wanting students to come and volunteer on a weekly basis, or maybe it's once a month or every other week, but they're looking for more of a regular type of schedule for a student to show up to. For example, the community kitchen likes to have regular volunteers, and so that's just one example of that. And then also, there are partners who are looking for more long-term volunteers. So we have lots of different opportunities for that. Start's not the only option for that. There's lots of different ways around campus that students go out, like our ACE scholars and things that go out and spend extended amounts of time at community partners, really developing that relationship and that real world experience. Does
Appreciate
that
it.
answer your question?
Yeah, of course. I think that's good to hear that there are partners, across the gamut there for sure. I think one thing that I was thinking about during this is your roles must be really cool, right? Because you get to see the students in action, you get to connect them with those resources. So, do you have any stories, or can you share maybe some of the most significant ways that you've seen students grow in partnership with, IU Core service opportunities? Are there kind of things that pop out to your mind that folks might be interested in hearing about?
Yeah, I it's really rewarding to see the students. Sometimes we also offer, this is something we didn't really talk about during the presentation, but we also offer like one-on-one coaching with students. And right after COVID, we had a student come to us who wanted to do a donation drive for the Shalom Center, which is a homeless center here in town. It was a specifically winter coats. And so and that's not an easy thing to task to take on when you're talking about picking up donations from like all different places on our like big campus and figuring out who to talk to get permission to put all the boxes, all the things. So we coached her on how to do that, and she did it, and it was super successful. I think she had like 400 coats that she donated from her donation drive, and so that's just an example of like one individual can make such a difference. So there's all different kinds of ways. Like a lot of our students also they want to go volunteer with their friends, so there's also opportunities for that as well. And it is super fun to watch them grow and for them to come back and say like what their experience was. And Reagan probably has more stories.
For me, I've been focusing on the START program, so most of my stories come from that. But it's really amazing to see the like mindset change from students from when we interview them for the initial placement to the reflection at the end, the change in the students and kind of their heart for the community growing. Because a lot of students come, they're like, yeah, I would like the experience. I have an idea of how I can fix this problem for them. And it's very I don't want to say like me focused, but it is kind of me focused. And then at the end, seeing the total switch about talking about how amazing our community partner is and the good work they're doing and how much they learned and they grew through working with a community partner that's dedicated to giving back. And we've even had a couple students that have been like, can we keep working on this even though it's not through START? Like, can we go volunteer with them? Or community partners asking the same thing, being like, oh my goodness, these students were amazing. Are we allowed to ask them to keep volunteering for us? And then we're always like, yes, of course, that's our dream. So it's been really great seeing like the heart for the communities that both the students have for the community partner that they've been working with, and then that the community partner has for the IU student that they've been working with.
Awesome. No, those are perfect stories. I think that's the kind of thing that we want to hear, coming from IU Core for sure. Do you have any just general last minute advice or final closing advice for families who really want to get involved, or are there specific ways that you think parents and families can encourage their students to get involved, or how can parents themselves get involved with your office, if at all? Is that something that you're looking at? Just kind of curious on speaking directly to the families here, how might they engage with you and help promote your mission?
Yeah, great question. So we are always open to the like if your student has a question or a curiosity about how to get involved, they can always send us an email at the IU Core email address on the screen, iucore@iu.edu. We check that every day, and so we would get back with them and schedule like a one-on-one, either it could be Zoom or in person. We're located in Maxwell Hall, right behind the Union. So not super hard to find us. But and then also if they're interested in like doing volunteering in the community and they know what they want to do, that's something that like the database that we're getting ready to launch will be super helpful for that. And then our START projects start in the fall, and so we'll be taking applications for that starting in September. And also, we'll be out at first, well, at the Student Involvement Fair, we will be there. And so if they just want to come see us in person, that's a great place to come and learn more about what we do, and also Culture Fest.
The only thing I would add on to all the great things that Suzanne has said is that I feel like a lot of students, especially freshmen, feel like they can't because they don't have a car. And then they're like, how do I even get there? But there's a lot of really great organizations that are walkable from campus. So it's not as big of a commitment of having to find a ride or having to get an Uber or trying to drag a friend with you. That really there are opportunities close to campus that are walkable, that a lot of our students find really rewarding.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And I thank you both for presenting to us this evening. If anyone has questions, feel free to email that email there, iucore@iu.edu. And this recording will also be posted on the Office of Student Life website. So if you just Google IU Office of Student Life Parents or Parent Resources, that'll be available for you by the end of the week or by the end of next week for sure. So thanks everyone for participating. And again, thank you, Reagan and Suzanne, for your service and dedication to IU and student life. I appreciate you both. So we'll see everyone soon.
Thank you.